Hey, shalom, shalom. Before I get started, as always, I want to give all praise unto our power, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachaha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and salutations and blessings to the hopeful elect that is scattered throughout the four winds of the earth that believe wholeheartedly in the true doctrine that is being pushed throughout the four winds of the earth, who are in hope of mercy and salvation in these last seconds of Esau Edom's rule on the planet Earth. All right. Um, this shouldn't be too long. Um, I just want to speak about this movie, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Um, and I'm gonna entitle this video "Esau Edom Knows His End." All right. Esau Edom knows his end. All right, and that end being nuclear destruction. All right, he knows that's how he's gonna go out, and he put it in this movie so blatant it's not even funny. All right, he knows that's the end of his society, the end of his rule on the planet Earth. All right, and that's how uh, uh, he put it in this movie. But of course, Hollywood gotta have Tom Cruise, his character Ethan, save the day. You know, that's the Hollywood of it. All right, but anybody with a spiritual inclination of what these scriptures are talking about, whom the Heavenly Fathers has given the eye salve to, all right, you watch this movie, you see Esau let you know straight up and down that his end is gonna come by way of thermonuclear destruction. All right, thermonuclear destruction. That's how his end is going to come, and they even showed in the movie um, these nations that possess that nuclear capability, the so-called entity, all right, which in the movie it depicted AI. The entity was AI, and it was getting smarter as we see today, all right, and it took over all the nuclear um, facilities, all right, and it showed Ethan when he was in this chamber, and he put this, they put the thing on him, and it tapped into his mind, and it showed him what he wanted to do, or what the entity wanted to do once he had complete control over the weapon systems of the world. And he saw the nuclear destruction. He saw the missiles, as the scriptures describe them, being shot from one end of the earth to the other. All right. He saw the nuclear war. All right. That will take place. See, real life ain't Hollywood. All right. He saw it take place. All right. And I was going to play this little uh, trailer, but I'm vouching for this. For those of you who, you into the movies and whatnot, this is a great watch. And I wouldn't recommend watching it if you like midday, just got off work or anything like that. I will watch it fresh. You know what I'm saying? Where you have energy, because it is a damn near 3 hour movie. All right. Um, and the people that put this movie together, all right, including Tom Cruise, all right, they know. They put that message in there of this nuclear war that's gonna ensue on the planet Earth. All right, these are all lesser luminaries. All right, from Tom Cruise to every other person that helped write and produce this movie. Ain't no way they produced this movie without knowing what the scriptures is talking about. Ain't no way, man. All right, the way they displayed that nuclear destruction scene, um, totally out of the scriptures. 100%. Even showed America 100% on fire. All right. Showed nuclear explosion. Showed, man, I'm talking about heavy. Even better than what was the movie or the show Fallout, and that was a crazy ass scene in Fallout. You know, the nuclear scene. All right, but it show you in this movie, you know, what the Heavenly Father has in store for Babylon the Great and the rest of the planet Earth. All right, it's it's a must, in my opinion, a must movie to watch. Um, Concerning the times. All right. And like I said, I didn't want to make this too long, so let's get some of these scriptures. All right. We're gonna go to the first one. Not Isaiah. I'm sorry. Yeah, Isaiah. Let's go to Isaiah first. Okay. Because we have plenty of scriptures that indicate nuclear destruction. All right. Isaiah the 34th chapter. All right. And we're gonna start at I could start at the top. Yeah, we're gonna start at the top and read through man, all of this is dealing with the nukes. So let's just read down. Isaiah chapter 34, verse 1. Alright. Matter of fact, let me pull this up. Because usually I'll play this in the beginning of my videos, but I'm not on my desktop. Hang on. And this is the reason I play it. This is the exact reason I play this clip. Because it entails exactly Esau, Edom's end. Alright? This is why I play this. Because this is the time that we living in, man. Alright? You don't need no sound. And we've been given the keys to understand what time we in. And we on the verge of all this coming to pass. Alright? All of this. The mark of the beast being implemented. And then ultimately these missiles being shot off. And going, tearing this place up, man. And then in the midst of the missiles, the elect being beamed up and saved and brought through the fire. Alright? This is why I play this normally at the beginning of my videos when I do videos on my desktop. Okay? So 100% that movie shows, you know, it shows it, man. It shows the missiles in the silos. It shows it all. You know what I'm saying? It shows the submarines that are in the ocean that's gonna be shooting off missiles. It show everything, man. Okay? So let's get it. Isaiah chapter 34, verse 1, it says, "Come near, ye nations, to hear and hearken, ye people." And then what's cold, it showed each nation who had the nuclear capability in the movie. And Salakia, this is a spoiler alert. And I'm not even a Mission Impossible type movie watcher. But the brother Daniela, he said, man, that movie is 10 out of 10. You know what I'm saying? And that brother sees all the movies. So I said, yeah, I'm going to go check it out. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I don't watch the Mission because it'd be too damn much for me. Like as far as the impossible shit that he be doing. All right. I mean, there was some of that in this movie, but the plot made up for it. All right, especially the whole nuclear destruction, the plan of the so-called entity in the movie to take take control of the nuclear arsenal of all nations, and have these nations destroy one another, especially that. All right, it made up for it with all the the extras he was doing in the movie. But it says, "Come near, ye nations, to hear and hearken, ye people." And like I said, the missiles they were showing inside the missile silos. They were showing the different countries' flag on the missiles. You had China, you had Russia, you had Israel, you had America. All right, you had all these different nations' missiles, weapon systems that was taken over and taken. The control was taken by the so-called entity, which was the AI. All right. It says, "Let the earth hear, and let all that is in, and let all that is therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it." All right, because everything on the planet Earth will be affected by this nuclear destruction that the Lord is going to cause to happen on the planet. All right. It says, "For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He have utterly destroyed them." And they even showed, like I said, this is spoiler alert. They showed those nations that were, a lot of the nations that was guarding these safe havens in case of the nuclear destruction. The soldiers weren't there because they knew the inevitable was about to happen. They went home to their families. All right, rather than guard this safe haven. Okay, it says, "He have utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood," because it's going to start out as conventional war. All right, but it's going to end nuclear, "and all the host of heaven shall be dissolved," meaning the armies on the planet Earth, they're going to be dissolved. "And the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll." And they showed that in the movie, boy, did they not? All right, they showed that what Esau calls the mushroom cloud. All right, "And all their hosts shall fall down, as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven," meaning the Lord, all the missiles on the planet Earth, the Lord is going to take control of them, like they show you in the movie. The entity did. No, the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, is going to take control of those missiles. All right, and he's going to shoot them off and allow this thing to, and allow his word to come to pass. All right, that's how I know these producers and these writers. And I remember years ago, the apostles brought out how all the top movie producers and writers, they have to know the Bible, all right, to bring forth these movies, all right, because they get their inspiration from the scriptures, then they put their own Hollywood twist to it. James Cameron, all right, when he did Terminator 2 Judgment Day, he said that he had a dream of that scene with Sarah Connor on the fence, and her flesh being blown right off of her bones. All right, and that's Zechariah the 12th chapter. All right, it says, "For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, Esau, Edom." All right, this is his judgment. All right, and 2/3 of you, because you follow this man. "And upon the people of my curse to judgment. The sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of the rams. For the Lord had a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. All right, the land of Edom. Okay, where Edom dwells. The Lord is gonna slaughter that land, mainly here, Babylon the Great, and the land of Israel. As a matter of fact, let me pull up another blue letter, and we'll come back to this. Okay, when you go to Psalms 37, it tell you that the enemy of the Lord shall be as the fat of rams. Let me see if I can find that real quick. And they shall go up in smoke. See if I can find that. Yeah, this is it here. Psalms 37 and 20. It says, "But the wicked shall perish, and the enemies of the Lord shall be as the fat of lambs." Just like we just read in Isaiah 34. All right, when we were in the ancient world and we, sacrificed the animal, a clean animal, a lamb, all right, a ram, all right, whatever the case was, the appurtenances, the fat, all right, and all that, we would send that up in a separate flame unto the Lord. All right, that was consumed by the fire. All right, and this is how the Lord is describing Esau, Edom. He's going to be as the fat of lambs. All right, the enemies of the Lord, they're going to be as the fat of lambs. They shall consume into smoke. Shall they consume away? All right, and that's what's going to happen to these devils. Idumea, as we read here in Isaiah 34. Let's go back. Verse 6, it says, "The sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys and of rams. For the Lord hath a sacrifice in Basra," which Basra was one of Edom's sons. All right, Esau, Edom's sons. Okay, "and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea." All right, in the land of Edom. Wherever Edom dwells. All right. All right. This is his judgment. Okay. "And the unicorn shall come down with them." All right. "And the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness. For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance, and the year of the recompense for the controversy of Zion." All right, the Lord is going to do this for his elect. All right, and you supposed to be, as a hopeful member of the elect, you supposed to be 100% down with it. All right, 100%. You're gonna be down with it. Okay, you supposed to be. If you ain't down with this, you ain't of the elect, man. All right. I truly want. A little excited. Excuse me. I truly want to see the downfall of this goddamn system and this man by the hand of our Lord and Savior Yahweh Shai, by way of those nuclear missiles, as well as the chariots that the Lord is going to send to aid in the destruction of this man's society. All right, I want to see it all. All right, I want to go through every emotion. I want to go through the highs, the lows. I want to feel that adrenaline. All right, I want to see it all. And if it be Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai's will, I want to see it all, man. All right. And I'm hearing Apostle Gabar in my ears right now. All right, because he be saying the same sentiment. Okay. It says, "And the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch." All right, meaning these different bodies of water, the Lord gonna dry them up. That's how heavy this nuclear destruction is gonna be on. That's why the elect is gonna have to be off the planet Earth, because it's gonna cause that much destruction. All right, the whole earth is gonna shake, rock to and fro like a drunkard. as the scriptures speak about. All right, and even in the movie, um, it said it's gonna wipe out billions. All right, it's gonna wipe out billions from the planet Earth. All right, and the only ones that were to survive were those that made it to that safe haven bunker. All right, it says, and the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof shall become burning pitch. All right, it shall not be quenched night nor day. The smoke thereof shall go up forever. From generation to generation it shall lie waste. None shall pass through it forever and ever. And that's strictly talking about Babylon the Great, aka America. All right? That's what America has coming. Okay? And let's get Isaiah 9. Isaiah chapter 9, verse 5. It says, "For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood," which is your average war. And this is already happening throughout the planet Earth. You see what's going on in Gaza, all right? But it's modern war. It ain't nuclear yet. It's modern day war where they're using drones and different type of missiles, all right? And these high capacity assault rifles and things of that nature, all right, which is causing confused noise and garments rolled in blood, literally. All right, all you got to do is go on these alternative medias, all right, and you can see what's going on over there in Gaza. All right, children being wrapped in garments filled with blood, mothers, pregnant women, men, all right, mourning, lamenting, all right. It says, "But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire," which is the nuclear war that's going to take place. All right, the nuclear war that's going to take place in the earth. In that movie, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm more than likely gonna go watch it again. You know what I'm saying? I'm more than likely gonna watch it again. Okay. Let's go to Isaiah 24, because I mentioned the earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard. All right, because that's how it's going. What's going to cause the earth to move to reel to and fro like a drunkard is these nuclear missiles. All right. Let me see. Let me see. Here it is. Isaiah chapter 24. Um, let's see if I can start. Yeah, we'll start here at 19. Matter of fact, Salakia, man, I need glasses. My eyes be having to adjust to these damn small ass words. Let me see if I can make this bigger. Okay, there we go. That's better. Let's do it like that. It says, "It shall come to Isaiah." I'm gonna start at 18. Key point. Going down to verse 20 and 21. All right. Well, the 21 is speaking about them getting gathered out of them bunkers. So let's read. It says 24 and 18. "And the them I said getting gathered out of the bunkers are the elite bankers. All right, those who gonna make it to their safe havens inside the mountains and inside the earth. All right, to where the elect is gonna go in there and fish their ass out and bring them out in chains." Isaiah 24 and 18. "And it shall come to pass that he who fleeth from the noise of the fear shall fall into the pit, and he that cometh up out of the midst of the pit shall be taken in the snare. For the windows from on high are open, and the foundations of the earth do shake. The earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean, dissolved, and the number one cleaning agent is fire. All right. So the Lord's going to, not only will the missiles uh, uh, bring destruction, but the missiles also is going to clean the earth. All right. It says the earth is clean, dissolved. The earth is moved exceedingly. All right. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard. Gonna cause the biggest earthquake known to the history of the planet. All right. Because the first death caused one of those the greatest earthquake to happen. All right. Now the second death is gonna top that. All right. It says the earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. Not the whole earth, but Babylon shall fall and not rise again. Okay? And then it goes on how the Lord is going to punish the high ones. Matter of fact, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall punish the hosts of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth. All right? That's going to be part of their punishment. The Lord going to destroy their enterprise, and then he's going to put them into captivity. All right? So now let's go to I was just thinking of the other scripture, but it left me. We can go to Joel. Go to the book of Joel, the second chapter, because this is speaking about the missiles, and this is what we're doing. All right, we're doing exactly what the prophets are supposed to do. We're blowing the trumpet in Zion we're letting our people know. All right, 2/3 ain't gonna pay us no never mind, like the scriptures say. But the elect, they're gonna take heed and get themselves in order before this day come. All right. As a matter of fact, let's get that one. Um, in Zechariah, Zephaniah, Salakia. Zephaniah, we're gonna go to the first verse. Zephaniah 2:1. It says, "Gather yourselves together, yea, gather together, O nation not desired, before the decree bring forth." What's the decree? The decree is what we're getting ready to read in Joel the second chapter. All right. What has the Lord decreed upon Babylon the Great in the land of Israel and other parts of the earth? Nuclear destruction. All right. Total devastation on the planet. All right. This is why we're to gather together by this word in hopes that the Lord is going to take us off the earth so that we receive none of the plagues of Babylon the Great. All right. Nor the judgment of Esau, Edom. We're going to have to be removed from the planet, man. All right. It says, before the decree bring forth, before the day pass as the chaff, before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you, before the day of the Lord's anger come upon you. All right. And the Lord's indignation. All right. Okay. Let's get that real quick. And here in Isaiah 13 and Jeremiah 50. All right, there's so many scriptures on these missiles. It's ridiculous because this is the second death. All the prophets seen it. All the prophets seen the end, man. And a lot of them, it made them sick. Okay. Isaiah 13:5. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven. Even the Lord and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. And the only thing on the planet that can cause that type of devastation is the technology of those nuclear missiles. All right, this is why there's a race for these nations to gather them. This is why Esau Edom doesn't want Iran to develop their missiles, but they gonna have them. They just made a deal with Russia, all right, about their missiles, all right. They're enriching uranium. As a matter of fact, another Tom Cruise movie, um, Top Gun 2, all right, displayed them destroying Iran's underground nuclear facilities, all right. So, like I said, these people that be making these movies, they get their inspiration from the Holy Scriptures, man. No question. Jeremiah 50 and 25. The Lord have opened his armory, and they show you that in the movie, man. They show you that in the movie. Them silos, you know what I'm saying, when they shot off, that's the Lord opening his armory. See, Esau think you're not in control. You devils are not in control, man. You better make sure you in them bunkers, man. All right, you devils better make sure you in them bunkers. And when you destroy, when the Lord have you send these missiles off and destroy Babylon and different parts of the earth and cause this nuclear war to happen, you best be prepared to get chains slapped on your ass. All right, as it is written, you gonna try to hide from the wrath of the Lamb. All right. You're going to want them mountains, them mountain retreats, and them underground cities and bunkers to cave in on you, because you'd rather have that happen than the Lord to get his ass, to get your ass. Okay? But it ain't going to happen. All right? The Lord is going to send his elect in there to get y'all up out of there, man. All right? Jeremiah 16 and 14. Or 16 and 16, should I say. Okay? Jeremiah 50:25, it says, the Lord have opened his armory and have brought forth the weapons of his indignation, all right, which are those nuclear missiles. For this is the work of the Lord Yahweh of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans, which is Babylon the Great. Okay? Babylon the Great. Okay? The Lord put the spirit on these devils. Matter of fact, so Isaiah 54. The Lord put the spirit on these devils to create these missiles for his purpose. Isaiah 54 and 16, it says, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy. Point blank, period. The Lord created the missiles for you to destroy yourself. He put the spirit on you devils, all right, to create that. Gave you the mind to split the atom and cause this big old explosion. All right, you made that movie Oppenheimer. All right. Okay. The Lord put the spirit on Oppenheimer. All right. To discover that technology, so-called discover, or put the spirit on him in his mind to split that atom and to cause that great explosion. All right, and you devils have been creating bigger and bigger and bigger nuclear bombs ever since, and it's all for your destruction. Okay, it's all for your destruction. All right, and we're blowing the whistle on it. This is the book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 1. It says, blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain, which is for the elect. And that's is what we're doing. The main purpose we out there on the highways and byways is to warn you of what the Lord is getting ready to do, man. Because it ain't no running from it. Ain't going to be no hiding in those sewers. I remember a few years back when Hawaii had that scare of those missiles on their way to Hawaii. You had people diving in the sewer, man. And the man of the Lord that's out there, and he has another brother with him now, um, the beloved brother Gabar Yahweh and Kahan out there teaching the Lord's word. All right. While the whole goddamn island was in panic, he went live and started reading them scriptures. All right. So if it was about to go down, the Lord would have caught him doing his work, and no doubt would have delivered him and his family, because the Lord said he would. All right. So again, it says, "Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble." Why? Because ain't no running from these missiles. All right. It tells you in the book of Job, he shall flee from the iron weapon. Matter of fact, I got to get that one. See, all these scriptures coming to mind now. Flee from the iron weapon. The iron weapon is that missile. All right. And these devils going to be trying to flee. Yeah. It's going to be a whole chaotic, when they make that announcement that the mainland is about to be hit by nuclear missiles, man, you're going to have people going crazy. All right. It says, I'm going to start at 23. Key point is here. I'm going to read down, though, to, let's see, I'll read to, let me make this bigger. Yeah, just 26. All right. 23 to 26 in the book of Job, chapter 20. It says, "When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating." All right, which is those missiles. "He shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through." Now, this is what Job saw in a vision. And he wrote it down to the best he could describe. He didn't know what no nuclear bomb was. He didn't know what no missile was. So he described it the best way he could. All right. "He shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. It is drawn and cometh out of the body," the silos. All right. Even out of them nuclear. They're going to be coming out the ocean, man. All right. They're going to be coming out the ocean. "It is drawn and cometh out of the body. Yea, the glittering sword cometh out of his gall. Terrors are upon him." All right. Because ain't no outrunning it. Ain't no outrunning it, man. All right. "All darkness shall be hid in his secret places. A fire not blown shall consume him. It shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle." Point blank, period, man. Nuclear destruction is on the way. Back in Joel chapter 2, it says, "Blow ye the trumpet in Zion and sound." Let me make that. "Blow ye the trumpet in Zion and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants." There go that alarm. It says, "Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand." All right. And it's closer than we even think. Okay. It says, verse 2, "A day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong, there have not been ever the like." Right. There ain't been a day like this, man. That's getting ready to happen. All right. "Neither shall be any more after it." Because the Lord is going to cause all these missiles to be used. It ain't going to be one missile left. All right. When the Lord is done. Okay. Just like it showed in the movie. "Even to the years of many generations, a fire devoureth before them." Now, Joel is describing the nuclear missile coming out of the silo. All right. Okay. Before they shot off, there's a fire. All right. Matter of fact, let's do this. Let's do this. I'm thinking, let me see, silo. Let's see. Okay, yeah, here's one. So that's 17 seconds. Okay? This is what the Lord showed Joel, man. The Lord showed Joel this thousands of years ago, before this technology even existed. Let me see if we can get another one.
A missile launch facility, also known...
I'm going to take it. Matter of fact,
constructed underground for the storage and launching of intercontinental ballistic...
Now, matter of fact, they show these silos in the movie. They show the inside of them. All right. They even show the silos inside the submarines in the movie. Let me make this bigger. Okay. This is what Joel saw thousands of years ago. Let's let this play.
Also known as an underground missile silo, launch facility, or nuclear silo, is a vertical cylindrical structure constructed underground for the storage and launching of intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, intermediate range ballistic missiles, IRBMs, medium range ballistic missiles, MRBMs. Similar facilities can be used for anti-ballistic missiles, ABMs.
See that? The fire would devour before them. Okay? Before they take off, there's an explosion. This is what Joel saw thousands of years ago, man. Okay? Now this technology is the regular. All right? And you a lot of you people think the Lord ain't gonna make it do what it do, especially you Christians. Oh yeah, the Lord gonna make it do what it do, man. All right?
The structures typically have the missile some distance below ground, protected by a large blast door on top. They are usually connected physically and/or electronically to a missile launch control center. The question is, what happens to a missile silo after a launch? Does the missile exhaust damage the silo beyond repair, or are they reusable?
It don't matter, because once these missiles, once they come up out of there, ain't gonna be no putting no more missiles in them. Point blank, period. That's gonna be it for you devils, man. Okay? You've created your own destruction. You've created your downfall. All right? See that? That's what Joel saw.
The thing you need to know is, there are two types.
That's what Joel saw, man. Let's go back and read. We're probably gonna come back to this. Let's go back. All right? Verse 3 in Joel 2, it says, a fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. Is that not? Where's that? Where we at? Is that not what this displayed right here? And behind them a flame burneth. That's the rocket propelling this missile, all right, to go cause great devastation, all right? A fire devoured before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yea, and nothing shall escape them. This is. Man, go watch that movie. If you into the movies, Go watch that movie, man. All right. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run. Okay. Let's get. I'm gonna bring it to this one because it displays that scene from. I believe that's the scene from Terminator when the missiles are shot off. They like horsemen coming in array. All right. We close to this thing going down, man. Only thing we waiting on is the mandatory microchipping. Once that happens, things are gonna move fast. All right. I'm gonna wait till this shows that one scene where the missiles being shot. Okay. Just so you can, have that depiction of them being in array like horses. Okay. That has to happen first, the microchipping. And then bam, that was it. Okay. The land is as the garden of Edom, and behind them a desolate wilderness, and none shall escape them, man. This is what Joel saw thousands of years ago. And not just Joel, all the prophets. Isaiah, Jeremiah, all of them, man. They all saw this destruction. Obadiah, okay, Zephaniah, Zechariah, and they explained it, the way the Lord showed them. All right, what the Lord showed them or what happened. But they all saw the same vision. All right. Again, verse 3, a fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yea, and nothing shall escape them. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run. Like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. And that's exactly what that clip from greatmillstone.info displays. All right, it says, before their face the people shall be much pained. All faces shall gather blackness, because when these things are shut up, it's going to be in everybody's mind. All right, that this is it. You know what I'm saying? And they show you that in the movie. All right, this is it. Ain't no, fear and dread is gonna take hold of these people's spirit, man. Okay, it says they shall run like mighty men, they shall climb the wall like men of war, and they shall march every one in his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. Meaning, it ain't gonna be no dud missiles. All right, none of them gonna hit each other. There ain't gonna be no missile defense system to stop them. None of that. All right. It says, neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one in his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. All right. They shall run to and fro in the city, meaning they're gonna just boom, boom, one after another, man. I'm telling you, when you watch that scene in the movie, man, you gonna see it, man. All right. It says they shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the houses. They shall enter into the windows like a thief. All right. The earth shall quake before them. The heavens shall tremble. The sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. That's gonna be a very dark day, man, in the planet Earth. All right. And the Lord shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great, because those missiles are a part of the Lord's army. Okay? For he is strong that executeth his word, for the day of the Lord is great and very terrible, and who can abide it? Nope, nobody can except the elect. because the elect is going to be taken off the planet and delivered. Therefore also now saith the Lord, turn ye even to me with all your heart, and with fasting, and with weeping, and with mourning. All right, and rend your heart and not your garments, and turn unto the Lord your power, for he is gracious and merciful, slow to anger, and great and of great kindness, and repenteth him of the evil. All right, see, the Lord got mercy for his elect. All right, he got mercy for you. This is why we out here blowing the trumpet. All right, for you better get in order. You better get on Yahweh Hashem Yahushai's side. All right, Yahushai said, "He that gathereth not with me scattereth abroad." All right, okay. It's also another one that says, "He that hateth me loveth death." All right, it's gonna be a lot of death out here, man. The Lord gonna kill a lot of people, man. All right, let's get this oldie but goodie, Malachi 4. Malachi chapter 4 verse 1, it says, "For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble." All right, the people gonna be fuel for the fire. "And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch." Man, I gotta make that bigger. Okay, shall leave them neither root nor, ain't gonna be nothing left. All right, who gonna abide in the day of the Lord, man? This is the final admonition. See, Esau knows. Edom knows his end, man. And his end is those nuclear missiles. That's his end. All right. He has gotten to the height of his technology. This is why we're seeing robots and shit being rolled out, surveillance everywhere, nanotech. All right, he's at the height of his technology. All right, he has as much power as the Lord has allotted him. He ain't getting no more. Okay, now it's time for him to use it so he can be brought down and brought low. All right, and thrown into captivity. Okay, he ain't. It's over with for this devil, man. Let's get Zechariah 12. Wait a minute. What is it? 14. Yeah, I believe it's 14. Zechariah 14. It might be 12 and 12. Let me see. Oh no, here it is. 14 and 12. Here we go. It's bigger, man. Zechariah 14 and 12. And this is where James Cameron, the Lord gave him a vision of this, and he put it in his movie, Terminator 2 Judgment Day. It says, "And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. And it shall come to pass in that day that a great tumult from the Lord shall be among them, and they shall lay hold every one on the hand of his neighbor, and his hand shall rise up against the hand of his neighbor," because it's going to be total chaos. But this is the point right here. Verse 12. The only thing that can do what this scripture says are those missiles. And it's going to do exactly that. It's gonna knock your flesh right off of your bones. All right. Your tongue is gonna consume away in your mouth. Ain't gonna be no more talking shit. All right. It's over with at this point. All right. Let's get a couple more. Let's go to Revelation, the 18th chapter. Revelation chapter 18, verse 1. It says, "And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory." Talking about Yahushua. "And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird." And that's post destruction. So let's jump down. Verse 4 says, "And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquities. Reward her, even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. In the cup which she had filled, fill to her double." All right. Let's go down to matter of fact, let's read it down till we get there. It says, "How much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow." That's the spirit Trump is putting out there about Babylon right now, America. All right, he's putting that spirit out there. Make America great again. All right. "Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine. And she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, who judgeth her. And the kings of the earth, who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her, shall bewail her," all right, "and lament for her, when they shall see the smoke of her burning." And this is going to be broadcast. All right, all the places around the planet that ain't going to be hit with these missiles. Once the shaking stops and things somewhat settled, which it ain't gonna be settled. It's gonna be people are gonna once the booms and the bombs and the tsunamis hit and all that, people are gonna see Babylon the Great burning by way of television. You know what I'm saying? And the different types of modes of emitting signals that the Lord will leave for the world to see, the rest of the world to see. They're going to see Babylon straight up burning. All right. And they're going to lament over it. People going to be lamenting over their families that were left here. They're going to be lamenting over the money that they ain't going to be making no more. They're going to be lamenting like never before, man. All right. When they see the smoke of her burning. It says, "Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise any more." You think Trump with his tariffs is gonna stop merchandise from coming over here? No. The Most High is gonna stop it, because he's gonna stop Babylon from existing. It ain't gonna be no more. All right. It says, "The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen, and purple, and silk, and scarlet, and all thine wood, and all manner vessels of ivory, and all manner vessels of most precious wood, and of brass, and iron, and marble. All this stuff is made in different countries, okay? Because Babylon is a consuming nation. It doesn't import or export anything. It imports everything. And this is what DJT and his admin is trying to get back to happen, but it ain't gonna happen. All right, and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men, and the fruits that that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. It says, the merchants of these things which were made rich by her, all right, shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, and saying, Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen. And we're going to see this from the heavens, all right? Because it tells us in Psalms, the 91st chapter, that only with our eyes shall we behold and see the reward of the wicked. All right, we're going to actually see these people wailing and weeping as well. All right, we're going to see the word of the Lord continue to come to pass even after the destruction. Okay, Lord willing, we be a part of that number. All right, it says, and saying, Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company and ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea, stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto this great city? It ain't no place on the planet that's like America. All right? Everything, as it is written in Jeremiah, the 49th and 50th chapter, I believe it's 50, maybe 51. Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. All right? Ain't no city like this city. Don't nobody, ain't all of the countries around the world are trying to mimic what America does. All right? This is why you have, they done took the American Idol show, and you got different countries doing their own version of it. All right, and that's just on one little small, minute level. All right, verse 19, and they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city wherein were made rich, were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour is she made desolate. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles. Hell yeah. All right. When we see this, Lord will, we be a part of that, man. We gonna praise Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai, man. Okay. It says, Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for the Most High have avenged you on her. All right. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, Thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. And the voice of harpers and musicians and of pipers and of trumpeters shall be heard no more at all in thee. All right, you got Kendrick Lamar. He's a part of these musicians. He's on this tour right now. That's gonna be a thing of the past. Ain't gonna be no more touring. All right. And no craftsman of whatsoever craft he be shall be found any more in thee. And the sound of a millstone shall be heard no more at all in thee. No more work. All right, it's gonna be over with. And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee. and the voice of the bridegroom, and the bride shall be heard no more at all. And there ain't gonna be no more marriages, all right? For thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. Like I said, Jeremiah the 50th chapter, all right? Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made the earth drunk, roughly paraphrasing. And in her was found the blood of prophets and of saints and of all that were slain upon the earth. All right? And her judgment is right around the corner. All right? Which is total destruction. And I can get more, but I believe the point has been made. All right? There's many more scriptures dealing with this nuclear destruction, man. Okay? But I'm going to end it there, man. Lord will, you know, this was edifying to the hopeful elect and exhorting as well as admonishing. All right. And I'm going to give all praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. And we on to the next video. Shalom.